moving to the Accra Mall. So they are excited about the location. And just 2 days, I'm not done. 10,000 capacity students hostel for the University of Ghana. He secured that in 2 days. New Kotoka International Airport enhanced security and scanners project. He secured that. And you know we've been having issues with drug trafficking and smuggling because our technology has become obsolete. The criminals have, as usual, they always find a way around it. And President Mahama says we are going to get ahead of them. They've already agreed. The Singaporeans are coming to invest. They've also said they are coming to invest at Tema Port and then the revival of the Tema Dry Dock. They are coming to construct a new jetty for our oil ships. And then President Mahama says number 7 is his favorite. The cooperation with the Singapore Land Transport Authority to establish testing labs. President Mahama, like all of us, is worried about the quality of our roads. He found out on the state visit that the Singaporeans, before you use materials to construct your roads, you go to a lab for the materials to be tested, for us to be sure that the quality, even the kind of cement you are purchasing and all of that, meets the right standard so that there will be durability. And he says that he's going to establish these labs. And before any road construction, before the big push is launched, those labs must be ready and running. And one of our young chemistry graduates called me and said, look, people have been teasing us that when you do chemistry, you don't have much really. But he's excited about these labs. And they say that the chemistry students are going to really have jobs to do working here. But more importantly, our roads which have not been lasting because of shoddy materials, substandard materials. Point number 7 is going to deal with that. President Mahama secured that. He also secured a collaboration with the central banks of Ghana and Singapore to have a payment platform which is going to revolutionize commerce between Africa and Asia. The Minister of Education was with us. Another TVET agreement was signed with the Singapore Institute of Technology. And we have a carbon credit agreement with the Singaporeans, and we outlined a number of projects that we are going to roll out. So my next slide details a lot more of what was achieved in Singapore, including 18 chief directors, following from the president's strong pitch. He wants us to collaborate, to have, because you know their standards are high, efficient, their delivery, their work ethic. And President Mahama secured immediately a partnership that will allow 18 chief directors immediately, just this month of September, to go and study for capacity building and return in a few weeks. 18 chief directors. 18 chief directors. So, Dr. Agredako, you see that President Mahama didn't abandon your head of civil service role. You received full support. So, the question that I've been asking myself is that if President Mahama achieved all this in just 4 days, 2 days in Japan, 2 days in Singapore, and you are going to spend 4 years, do you have an excuse? Do you really have an excuse to come back home empty-handed? As for you, you don't win for Ghana, no agreement for Ghana, no increase in scholarships, no increase in trade volumes, no PJCC. We don't see any support for the present priority areas, 24-hour economy, a big push, Women's Development Bank, Madam Vice President is here. And you want us to keep you at post and be commending you and be saluting you and for you to be enjoying all the privileges and courtesies, as you call them, which you deserve, no doubt. You deserve all the privileges and courtesies. But if the president, let's all reflect, and it starts from me. So because I've been really, people think I'm only excited that President Mahama achieved all that, but I've also been quite petrified, because if your boss can achieve this in 4 days, then you as minister, and your ambassadors. You really have no excuse. You have to make sure that you deliver. So President Mahama, as I conclude, has instructed that you don't give people KPIs, new targets, without looking at their conditions of service. So I'm happy to announce to you today what you have been waiting for a long time. President Mahama has given us the approval, and this morning I signed your new foreign service regulations. So you now have enhanced conditions of service. And we've introduced even new allowances. We now have KPI allowances. So those who meet their KPIs, you'll get special allowances. So it's a bonus. It happens in the private sector. It happens in the private sector. So we need to, because it shouldn't be everybody's receiving the same, whether you deliver or not. That will not be motivating. So we've worked on that. Then I came to this ministry and noticed that a lot of the missions have not been commemorating a national day. Others are always inviting us, and then we don't commemorate ours. Some have been commemorated that for 5 years, 6 years. We are saying that that has to stop. It's now compulsory under the foreign service regulations. And we've introduced a new allowance for that, a new allowance for the National Day. So even if funding doesn't come from the budget, at least you have an allowance as head of mission to take care, at least to host a decent reception, have an art exhibition, culture exhibition, and let Ghanaians see, let the international community see what Ghana is made up of. So, and we've introduced a novelty too for those who are posted to the hardship missions. And Mr. President, we have hardship missions here. We've classified them for good diplomatic reasons. I will not mention the countries, but I don't want to start any conflict. But when you get the documents, you see the classification. And we've introduced a very creative system where those who agree to go serve in these hardship countries, you are not obliged to be there for 4 years. After 2 years, you can put in a request to be cross-posted. And President Mahama gave us full approval to do that. So you can be cross-posted. And within the 2 years, you're also entitled to more home leaves to visit home, unlike the others who are in the other posts. And it will be fully paid for by the ministry. It is at the ministry's cost. And then we also introduce an insurance package. If you are in a war zone, for example, we should have an insurance package. If something happens to you, at least your wife and children should be in the knowledge that they will be catered for. So these are very, very good reforms that we got the President's blessings to outline. And we've also enhanced the education grant. The education grant I came to meet for 3 children was atrocious. And it doesn't even pay the fees of 1 child. So when we discussed with the President, he says, please go ahead, increase it. And they are going to deliver. They are going to bring a lot for Ghana. So let's support them. So that has been done. And then this is the most exciting one that I know you've been waiting for. President Mahama has granted executive approval for the vehicle duty allowance. So the vehicle duty allowance is going to be restored. But there's a caveat, it's only for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yeah. So we don't want others to start agitating and to put sand in our gari. So the principle is clear. As we give people more tasks, more targets to meet, we have to also give them the tools, and we have to resource them, and that has been done. My final slide, our charge is to assist President Mahama, the man on a mission, as the Singaporean president said, the man on a mission to achieve his vision for resetting Ghana. And I have no doubt that colleagues here, you have the gravitas, you have the expertise, you have the love for country, the patriotism, you have the know-how to help the president achieve his vision. And I have no doubt that we will succeed together, and the Ghana ship will remain afloat, and we shall conquer the world together as we have always done. Thank you.